Wait, I want to hear the times Nolan almost cried.
Yeah. Oh, give us examples.
Yeah.
Top 3 times Nolan almost cried.
Mostly Oga. When an elderly woman coming to terms with, like, after a long journey, kill me.
Yeah.
End me immediately.
Well, like,
and then,
I have so many thoughts on that. I will deep dive on that once we get into the actual bathroom break. Go ahead.
And then naming the child Oga. Like, I knew as soon as you were like, what's the child's name? I was like, it's Oga. But hearing it,
I barely got that out without, like, sobbing. Yeah. I had to mute myself afterwards because
still.
Yeah, y'all, you're welcome for not making that out.
Shaking. I wouldn't have been able to. Oh my god. I barely said that the baby's name was Oga.
Thank you for telling the story with me. It has been such an incredible 8 months? July to now.
Oh my god.
And
we've only known each other for 8 months.
You know,
The power of found family.
I would give my blood to any of you.
Right back at you, girl.
I pitched Cavemen, thinking that I would play with you guys once and then never again. Just because that's how every other one-shot before this went. You know, we had a rotating cast of people. And the moment that we filmed that first session, I was like, oh wait, this is special. And I'm being so genuine when I say that. I want to tell stories with these people for as long as they'll have me. True and honest, you guys were all characters, and I was feeling insecure about how I would tell a story for 3 sessions. And so I invited Josie to come play. I said, hey, I have this game. Like, will you come in and play a character that's going to die at the end of the first session to catalyst everyone and to feel. And then as soon as we began making her character, Josie was like, I don't want her to die. I was like, I don't want her to die either.
Oh, I can't imagine this story without Tuga. I truly can't.
Me either. I really can't.
And thank you for telling stories with me. Let's tell a million more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know we're already in the process of telling more with each other in different universes. I hope that you guys get to play every infinite combination of friends and lovers and siblings and cousins and
I love it. Love it.
Outro.
Okay.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
My thoughts on what Nolan said about Oga, about like this woman, you know, coming to the end of her journey. It has the very like almost modern storytelling of you work so hard and suffer so much so that your family can reap the benefits.
Yeah.
And Oga has just reached this point of comfort and joy. And like she's had 2 examples of this kind of immigration and like time of struggle and strife.
Yeah.
Where she went from, you know, 15 and finding Cave, this beautiful, perfect new home, and then again has to help lead her family to this new place, and she barely gets to reap the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Everybody say what they loved about Oga, and we'll do one about everyone.
I'm literally gonna cry.
Everyone start with Oga, and then we'll jump around.
So beautifully
what do you love about Oga?
So beautifully complex.
I loved watching Oga's arc as she grew and changed and learned to kind of like trust and actually talk to other people and open up a little bit and become vulnerable with her family. Has me in tears every time.
Yeah. I love that but like her aspect of being so hard on everyone just because she wants the best for them, and learning that the best for them might not be fighting their whole lives like she had to.
Yeah. I think that no, I'm kidding. I think at the very start it was very clear that Oga half and
you cut out.
Relearning.
Take it back. I'm sorry.
You
Do
fell
some
off.
pickups.
You fell off, Queen.
I think that at the very start it was very obvious that go with
You fell off.
hello.
You fell
Hello.
off, Queen.
I know. I don't understand why.
Come.
Okay. She was a half of who she was, and just relearning like that.
Mm.
Just be so loud. Just
Relearning
scream into the mic.
empathy over the course of relearning her empathy over the course of really bad things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
quit.
Hey, I agree though. I know what
that's
you're
what
getting at.
comes
Yeah, we
through.
get the gist.
We
got the
understood.
gist. Okay,
Yes,
I'm
relearning
sorry.
empathy is very good. Thank you, Chat Nolan.
Josie.
I just love how she just connected so well with each family member. She knew exactly what each family member needed. She watched them grow. She helped them grow. She didn't try and hold them back. She let them make mistakes. She encouraged them when they needed to be encouraged. And yeah, she's a little rough around the edges, a little tough love, never hurt nobody, but I think that she just, like, seriously was that backbone of the family. But now the family has their own, and that's who taught it to them. Like, she taught it to them.
I definitely think that she is the character who, to put it aptly, evolved the most from the first session to this one. So yeah, seeing, I think you can snap for yourself. I don't think that's taboo at the Slam Poetry Club, right? I think you can snap for yourself. She sort of trailblazed. She went from hanging back to pushing the envelope so fucking hard, and I think that helped all of us play in the space of getting used to this. Because if the most set in her ways can start gossiping with this other old lady.
Well, I think that this all speaks to, like, yes, these are excellent points about this wonderfully made character, but it also speaks to the excellent role player that Skullie is. Because, first of all, thank you for feeling vulnerable enough, or for caring enough about the story that I made up and presented to you guys to cry over it. That's really flattering, and it's like a dream for you to be so involved in this little play pretend game that I come up with that you feel real emotions from it.
Do you like to make women cry?
And
I will be crying for days.
Also, like, you know, this thing of like Oga makes connections with everyone, that speaks to Skullie's ability to pull in all role players into scenes and to make sure that everyone's feeling connected to the story and has a role, and that, like, we never go a session without a character not making a choice, and everyone gets to kind of make a choice, even if it's just like a, hey, Qeela, help me do this thing really quick. You're good at that club. It's like, and also you should know this too. And pulling people in, right? And yeah, Skullie builds excellent, dynamic, complicated characters, but she plays them in a way that is a DM's dream, and it's just
She is truly like a
story.
heat-seeking missile for loners.
Yeah, pulling in everyone into scenes and playing into my plot just enough so that I don't get sad because you guys don't want to play my game, but never being untrue to your character, right?
Yeah, 100% that. Everything you just said, yeah.
Yeah.
I think her story, was the most focused on everyone else. I think everyone was either very self-centered or centered on one or two other people. And
I think it's fair.
It was beautiful to have sort of a core to keep touching back on.
Right, and that's very realistic to grandmothers, right? To, you know, good or bad, they're looking at their legacy, and
Joe, you fell
You
off.
fell
I'm so
off.
sorry. Joe, you
You
fell
fell
off.
off.
Okay. Okay, I'm right here. Am I back? Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
That's very true to grandmothers, though. They're, concerned about their legacy and looking at all generations and stuff too, which I think is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Skullie, do you have any notes before we move on to our next
Yeah,
highlight?
I'm gonna cry about this for the next week and a half now. Thanks, you guys are so wonderful and lovely.
Let's keep being friends, everyone.
Oh my
Let's keep it
god.
fun.
No, just all the lovely things. I mean, like, I love pulling people into scenes. Role play is my favorite part of tabletop. Like, I don't think that's a secret, right? So
I thought you liked the dice.
I love the dice. Sometimes the dice don't love me, but I love characters. And I mean, like, you guys also, like, you guys make it so easy to make those moments happen too. Like, I mean, I've played D&D with so many different people, and this is like the most dynamic group of players I've ever experienced, and I cannot thank you all enough for allowing me to really flex my muscles and stretch my legs and push boundaries and do all of the things that I wish I could do in every tabletop game. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have this environment set up by Joe and by each of you as players. And I mean, that's, yeah. So thanks to you guys. I'm glad that she resonated with so many of you. Everything that you said was exactly what I wanted to put across for her. Because, yeah. So.
Beautiful.
I'm losing my mind.
And MJ has to leave at 10. I know that MJ has to leave at 10. Let's talk about Hoku.
I can stay until we get through these characters.
Okay. What did everybody love so much about Hoku?
Oh, just like the absolute everything that I love about MJ's characters, like, to the 10th degree. Like, the angst, the teen angst was so good. And then also, yeah, like, her, I think season 1 was very much teen angst. I'm a teenager. My life is a nightmare. And her, like, right? But then her just, like, maturing and really growing into herself and becoming her own person and finding her own identity was just so refreshing and beautiful to watch, and how that affected everyone around her, where, like, Oka's actively encouraging it, Qeela's not so sure, Tuga and Zog are like, no! Like, I just, yeah, MJ, I mean, like, I admire the way that you play teen angst in a way that isn't overly tropey or cliche. Like, you add so much heart, and it's so sincere what you add to your characters that, like, I eat it up every time. But with Hoku in particular, like, I mean, she's a knockout. She's just, yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was like the platonic ideal of teen drama. Because, like, there's a million shows that are like, Euphoria is not fucking realistic. Nobody wants Euphoria to be realistic. This felt like everyone remembers their teenage years being. It felt like a retrospective, and it was beautiful.
I just loved how she just reacted to everything. Like, whatever she reacted true to her character too. Like, if one of the characters made a choice and Hoku heard about it or saw it, she would immediately act on it. And she just, and as, like, her character grew, how she would react to these things changed, and you can see how her character grew through each season. And like, I just love, like, the relationship that you had with everyone, and how you could watch as she grew up, how each relationship strengthened and changed, and how Hoku learned to forgive and to love herself too. Because I think at the beginning she was convinced that she needed to latch on to this thing that she learned wasn't real, but she finally learned to love herself, and I just was like, yes.
Talk about your daughter.
I like that fundamentally, like however she changed and grew, she was
always good.
Hoku. She's always good, and like was a really good litmus. Family was on the right. If we as a group are doing she's great.
Yeah. She's a good litmus test to see where the family is at. Hoku's a good person to draw from. If Hoku's doing good, family's doing good. Because Hoku is so like
We should
so reactive to what everyone does.
we should pool together to get Nolan a real mic.
I'm trying, baby. I'm trying to make this money on TikTok. Hale, what do you think, baby?
I really like MJ's ability to like integrate into the character you're playing, because I find myself really reacting emotionally to you as a person, and sometimes I have to like step back and be like, this is a game, I'm not actually angry.
Yeah.
MJ plays betrayal so well.
I was gonna say my primary takeaway is, Qeela, were you trying to say something? You didn't make noise.
No, I was very silently, even though my mic was muted, going yes, yes, yes.
Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say, like, there's a reason why when I wanted to prank Nolan by having his daughter beg for her life, there's a reason why of all the characters that could have done it, it was Hoku. Like, MJ has such a gift for that gasping, just utter like I have just been betrayed in a way that like I don't even know how to respond to it.
Yeah.
Any
situation where you could start
wide-eyed
with, yeah. Sorry.
Her like no, you're fine. Her wide-eyed like she has that look down. I can see it in my dreams, and just the every instance of like she lied to me. She keeps lying to me. Why does everybody lie to me? She has this perfect like warble from just voice barely breaking into full sobbing, but she can still act through that. She's one of the best passionate, outward, like loud emotion actors that I know.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part of all of your characters is that they lean into that hard.
Any situation where you could start with how could you do this to me? It's MJ can play it in any sort of ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
MJ gets typecast as betrayed for the rest of time.
Betrayed teenager.
MJ, is that what you were hoping for us to take from Hoku?
I don't really know what I was hoping to be taken, because I think she was kind of a joke concept when I came up with her. And
all of you were cavemen.
I mean, it's true. We were all jokes, but
yeah. Then you bring in dead grandpa, and everything gets real. Once mortality is a thing.
It's true. We were all jokes, but like I didn't have much substance to her when I first created her. I thought emo teen in love with the moon. It's so funny. It's so good. I had only ever played like bit characters before this, where I'm just like here to be the funny little guy. So I came in expecting that. And Joe immediately made that moon thing, and my first scene made that feel real and made me like, oh wait, this is my character. Like misunderstood girl trying to find herself. This is what I'm playing. That's the story I'm telling. And playing off of all of you made it so easy to find like a real heart to the character and the family.
Oh, I love this family. My only condition, if we're gonna play together again, which I'm sure we will, but I want to play another family.
Yes.
Oh, that's my favorite dynamic to play, so I agree.
Love.
Yeah.
If I could play a mother like me, if I could play a mother.
Now that I've stopped crying.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, now that I've stopped crying, I can actually say this. So I have a really, and we don't have to include this in the bathroom break, but also if you want to, I don't care. I have a horrible relationship with my surviving grandmother. She is incredibly manipulative and narcissistic and abusive and awful. And when I was writing Oga, I was like, I want to basically have certain aspects of her, but make her so she actually wants to grow and learn and change.
Wow.
And being able to like do that and see that happen and have it resonate with all of you just like truly means the world to me. So thank you for being my real life therapy, essentially, by me playing Oga. Yeah. So
What about Nolan? What did everybody love about Zoc?
big sweet dumb daddy. You can't you really can't go wrong.
That's
He
Nolan's
kissed his wife
typecast.
so
Every
well.
character he plays.
It is
Yeah.
it's
Nolan
just
always
love
plays the
that.
himbo.
it is so funny too cuz genuinely like the characters that I keep playing and the characters that Nolan keeps playing is like, a himbo for sure. But I play a lot of old ladies, I've realized, and men that are obsessed with their wives. And so I have
Oh yeah, that's
I have
all.
yeah, and I have such a deep appreciation for characters done right like that because again, I think it's really easy to get really tropey with it. I think it's really easy to get cliche and have it not be sincere. And Nolan, frankly, I was, and this is my own stereotypes coming out. This is my own biases and prejudice coming out, right? When I learned I was playing with a straight guy and that you were in a frat, I was immediately like, we'll see. And it was like
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But then like session 1, I was like blown away by how much heart and sincerity you brought to Zoc, and I was like, okay, I got to check myself. That was wrong of me to assume that because he's actually really good. So yeah, and
Yeah.
you've just continued in that stride. Like there are so many like out of left field sucker punches that you laid out with Zoc, like just really emotional moments I never would have seen coming that just ended up being so good. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think my favorite part of Zoc has just been like how big his heart is. He's so sweet and so loving, and he cares about his family above all else and will do anything for them. One moment that's like stuck with me from the first season, one that Joe used as the intro to that edit she posted on Valentine's Day, when Tuga was healing, and the way you like delivered the line about being stuck with Tuga is just so sweet, and so many moments like that. It's just like you can, you can feel Zoc's love for his family, and I think it's great.
I think Nolan's
It's a quiet night. Or what was it?
Yeah,
it's a still
it is.
night.
Yeah.
Quiet night.
Still night.
It's a still night.
I think Nolan's biggest strength is always, it's very much a sleeper thing. It comes out once in a while, exactly when it needs to. He takes the strongest hit exactly where it needs to be.
Say more about that. Give an example. Cite 3 examples.
Cite 3 examples. I didn't realize I was writing an essay. It's not
I
even
love
just,
it. I want you to say. I just love it, and I want you to say more.
it's not even like in the most serious scenes, but how he reacted when he was dreaming about the nightmare about hurting Hoku, or when Qeela was being cagey as fuck with a Goka, and he just immediately breaks through all of the bullshit, does exactly what needs to be done to have the greatest impact.
And I think from DM perspective, that's when I surprise Nolan. I think he surprises himself because I think, and this is going to sound like an insult and it's going to turn into a compliment. You do best when you just trust yourself and you just lean into whatever Joe throws at me, I will respond as Zoc and I will do fine. Whenever you lean into that, you do your best. Sometimes if you worry too much, like, is this something Zoc would do? We don't hit that as much. But when you just trust your instincts and whatever I surprise you with, I think those moments that Aaron's talking about is when I surprise you and you don't have a moment to doubt yourself. So you just do what we know you're capable of doing all the time. What comes to mind for me for that is when Tuga died. When Tuga almost died.
That whole arc was like really good Zoc content.
Nolan didn't know if Tuga was just coming back to life for a moment to say goodbye and then die, or if she was coming back to life fully. And he said that in the bathroom break after. And that's why it was so like, because Zoc doesn't know either.
Yeah.
So it sounds like an insult, but that it's just because you have the power within you and you just have to trust yourself.
When it was like my first scene, and it was you and Aaron coming out as I was talking to Brug's gravestone, essentially. And I don't remember the exact line, but I think it was like me doing this whole monologue to Brug, right? And it was like really, really heavy, and you guys had been a little goofy starting out and like, you know, shenanigans, and then it was like I'm talking to my dead husband, and you came out and you like adjusted to the vibe immediately. And I don't remember the exact line, but I think it was something along the lines of like, "It's getting late, Mom." And I was like, yes. I was like, perfect. I was like, he didn't try to make a joke. He didn't ask how I was. He didn't say anything about my dead husband because clearly I'm upset about that. You were just like, "It's getting late, Mom." And I was like, okay, good. All right, let's see what else he could do. Which seems like such a simple, stupid thing of like insignificant. But for me, like as a player, I was like, okay, great. He's locked in.
Man, this frat boy got brains.
I know. I may have set the bar a little too low, but like genuinely, I was like, I mean, I've played with you in tons of other games, but yeah, you have those sucker punch heart moments that just are so great and so you.
Yeah,
just a wonderful balance because it'll be like you have your comedic side, you know when to be funny, you know when to be soft and kind and considerate, and you know how to be fierce too. And I just loved seeing all of that full scale with Zoc. It was just everything. Like you could have those really sweet and nurturing moments with your kids, and then your loving moments with Tuga, and then you could be stern and harsh when you needed to be. Like sometimes Qeela needed to get a little slap in the wrist and get herself going, or you needed to remind someone like, hey, you know, we've got a job to do. And it was just really good to see that full everything Zoc had to offer.
Yeah, what do you think?
I really like how every once in a while you can see you really like lock into a scene and you can see every emotion flash through your face as we go through it. And I just think it's really cool to watch you like genuinely be in character like that as we play through.
I think, Nolan, someone said that you always play, you know, loving. I think that you always play soft-hearted lover boys, rather than, what was the other word we used? A himbo?
Yeah, we said himbo.
I think soft-hearted lover boys, like the best way to put it. You always play that kind of vibe, which I love a lot. Because I don't think any of your characters are dumb. I think some of them have, most of them have more street smarts than book smarts type deal. But what I love about you as a player is that lovingness. I think you in real life are a soft-hearted lover boy. And that is such a wonderful vibe to play with, because you very much, in a very similar way to Skullie, you're very much a giver when it comes to roleplay. And so you're always doing scenes with other people and trying to see, okay, how can I highlight their character in this perfect way when I'm role-playing with them? And you're constantly trying to give everybody else a little bit of everything. I think everybody wants you to be a little more selfish sometimes, because we want to see you be selfish and take some cool character moments too. But like, it's just so wonderful, especially in, hate to bring it up, especially with a bunch of mostly queer women having a straight guy come in and just being very sweet and big-hearted and loving, and he's an ally, and just making sure that like everyone's having fun. I feel very confident if I needed to like, hey Nolan, that wasn't great, like then you would respond like, whatever, fixed, done, not gonna happen again, Pookie, it'll never, oh my god, I'll kill myself. But you're just such a big-hearted man in real life that
It comes
playing
across.
with you play
Yeah.
like you love each of us very, very much, and like you want us to have a good time playing this game.
Emotional intelligence just through the fucking roof.
Emotional intelligence through the roof. He's an ally.
And
He's an ally. We love.
Intelligence. Nolan, is that what you wanted us to get from Zoc?
Yeah.
Oh, he's shy. Are you shy?
He's so shy.
He's so cute.
Do you have anything else you want to say? You don't have to.
Thank. No, thank you guys.
Aw, what a sweet
Like, caveman, I wouldn't have met you guys or caveman
Yeah.
doing all this where I am now, and it's like, sure.
Yeah.
You guys all just kind of turned into like grandmas handing out candy immediately, like pinching cheeks.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh, do you want a sweet? The second he was bashful, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a man being bashful.
That really describes the dynamic here, doesn't it?
Well, there's a reason why I almost exclusively play old ladies. I love it. I was born to be she.
What do we think about Nala?
Oh, loved
This
Nala
season.
this season.
Mhm.
Loved.
God.
I love when Hale takes swings, because I feel like sometimes you're maybe you're not feeling like as brave, or like maybe like you don't want to be in the spotlight or whatever, but like when you take swings, they're like always good. Like you make you make really strong character choices, they're bangers every fucking time. And I'm so glad that like you have gotten to a point, maybe it's just this group where you just feel like you can really trust yourself and like fully surrender to the experience, where I just feel like this has just been such a cool point for me to just watch you as a player and see parts of you that I've never seen before. I loved Nala. I love how fucking insane of a menace she is. I think that you played her perfectly. Yeah, every little bit I fucking ate it up. Every time Nala was getting up to some more shenanigans, I was like so excited to see what was gonna happen.
And
I know,
one thing I'd like
As
to
a-
jump
yeah,
off
as a-
on that. Oh, y'all.
I was just gonna say, I think Skullie said like everything I was thinking. I love the mischief. But like being like she's a menace, but she's not bad. She's really sweet deep down, and I think that is horrible. I love it.
Yeah.
I just loved being surprised. Like, I think with all the other characters, I kind of had an idea of who they were and stuff like that. But Nala just like kept surprising me. She had these little moments where I'd be like, "Oh, okay, Nala," like she just was so cute and monstrous at the same time, but I just love her for it, and it was just kind of fun to like watch her find her purpose and see you grow more into the character as we did each session, come and come again, and oh man, I want to be your guys' mom again.
Oh,
I know. I'm like so sad saying goodbye to these characters, because I mean, like, maybe we do another season of the Uggs at some point, but I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to play Oka again. That's like so sad.
I know.
It's like I like
I mean,
as much
you
as
can
I
play
want us
Oga
to keep
again,
going.
but not.
Yeah.
It's like as much
Flashback.
as I want us to keep going, it's like, we
It's
just
just
gotta
so
we
good.
gotta savor. We
Yeah.
gotta savor it.
Yeah.
The bow we put on
yeah.
it was so good.
It was.
And I just loved how inquisitive and like just yes, mischievous, but she could also be so sweet and considerate too.
Yeah.
Like she would have her moments where she would really like realize that, I really do love my sister, or I really do love my family, and it was just so cute, and you would just see that little, like, you know, just like, I just can't. It was just she knew just what to say sometimes. It was
Yeah.
like, "Yes, perfect." I wouldn't have said it any differently. And it was just such in a sweet, innocent way, but she just finally, at some point, she grew up.
Oh,
I think
devastating.
what impresses me most is your ability to play a character, and I can only think of two ways to phrase it, that is selfish and complex, or that is selfish but not stealing the spotlight. That is not forcing everything to be about them. And it's just beautiful to see you be able to take this character and be like, oh, I'm 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm gonna be the worst, but I'm still gonna be a person. A lot of people will boil, oh, I'm gonna be the worst, into now I'm a murder hobo.
Yeah,
Sure,
no, I'm annoying.
you literally started a riot, but it was in character, and you did sweet things, and you were just like, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly correct. And like as a parent, like the protector and like the dude that wants to tear, I fucking hate. Please just listen and listen, please. And like as a person myself, it was such a like
Oh, you're
just
cutting out,
loved to
Nolan.
watch.
Yeah. We got
I
95%
loved
of that.
her.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 95%.
Yeah, being
Well,
It's
and
my
I want
computer's about to
to.
die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Being
want to award. Go ahead.
just be like just the last thing about knowledge, like being mischievous but not annoying. Like you were
Yeah.
like very much
Fine.
like just like actually so
100%.
fun and chaotic and sweet, but not being like a hindrance and like something I was like, oh god, here we go. Like I never got that. And I feel
Yeah.
like with like the annoying little shit kid, I feel like if people can fall into that so easily of like just like whatever. But I never felt like that with Nala. She always felt sincere and complex and good and yeah.
I really wanted
100%.
her to feel like just a good kid who was scared and going through a lot, so she's
Yeah.
acting out, but
Things
she's
are
still like
changing.
that good kid.
Yeah. Love her.
Right. And I want to reward we've had you play two very difficult tropes to play on this channel. We had you play a small child who was at the beginning canonically quiet, inward, and inquisitive. And we also had you play someone who has been trained to be damsel in distress, you know, always seen, never heard, like very, you know, traditional in post-production as well. And you take both of them and you still find a way to make them your own and to ride that line between like, yeah, there's tropes that we're playing with here, but also specifically, I'm talking about Nala specifically. Like we said, just she felt like a person, and we already said, oftentimes people don't think that kids are people, and
Yeah.
you know, Nala's a person. She was 8 or whatever when we started. Now she's maybe like 11, and yeah, it's very important that like kids are people, just a little bit less life experience and like less of a brain, so they have less ability to kind of do things on their own. But is that how you wanted us to see Nala? How we just said?
I'm not really sure, because going into it, I wasn't like, because when we started this, I was still relatively new to D&D, so I didn't really know where I wanted my character to go. I just was like, hey, this was a cool idea, let's play a kid. But I do really like where she ended. And like I like the story, like I feel like I've grown with her as I've played.
Yeah. Beautiful. And Aaron, I always love how you allow me to play your tragic wet cat partner.
Oh my gosh.
And you devastate me so much, and I cried real tears. What did we love about Qeela?
Oh my god. Qeela is so complex and tragic, but not in a way that like like makes you like, oh, okay, we're doing this again. Like she does hold on to the same issues and like have baggage that kind of comes up in a very similar way, but it doesn't feel like repetitive, and it feels true to I guess life in general. I think you do a really, really good job with complex and like beaten down characters in a way that doesn't feel overdone.
Yeah. Aaron, you always devastate me. As a DM, as a player, you always manage to rip my heart out and stomp on it in the best way. And like genuinely, it is such Qeela has been such a pleasure because just like MJ said, like Qeela was such a genuine character in terms of like her journey through grief and guilt and mental health and all of that. It felt so real. As an eldest daughter, I felt a lot of that trauma deeply. Yeah, just living up to the ideals that seem impossible, blaming yourself, like so much of it was like so honest. And yeah, I mean, what more can I say? You are so skillful in creating characters that are genuinely so sad without being like weepy, but like just being so good and tragic and like delicious.
Of the heartbreak.
No, Nolan, go. Your audio's good. Go.
Yeah, Nolan, you came through. Perfect.
The complexity of the heartache that you make me feel is insane. Because like I think
it's okay.
But, yeah, you make me. It's like deeply for your character and what they're going through, but they're also evil, and I can't stand the way they make others feel. So it's like it's so tragically human. It's actually.
Yeah.
Just like truly a bleeding heart, but behind a hard exterior. Like she really did care. And she cared so much, but she was so convinced that she needed to be this tough, like unbothered wine queen aunt. But whenever Hoku was like going through that thing with the moon and she just was trying to let go of the moon, the rock, and he was like, I need to do this for her. Just she just cared so much about others, and she pushed her own feelings aside and sacrificed her well-being for others, and she just was suffering in silence in like the worst and best way possible. Like me as a player, I just was like, I just want to hold her and everything and make her feel loved, but I also knew that it just was so well built. It never felt like too much or too little. It was just enough, and it always would punch you right in the gut. And I was like, damn it, Aaron.
Yeah.
You know how to hurt us.
You're so good at it. It's really a skill.
MJ or Hale?
You do a fantastic job.
First, I think.
You do a fantastic job of making me fall in love with your characters and then breaking my heart at the same time. And it's agonizing, honestly, every single time we play together. Qeela specifically, I relate because, like, I get being, like, you gotta be this strong person for your family, but it's also watch it.
Yeah, Aaron, your strength as a player is having these killer solo lines that never feel like Aaron going, watch this, guys, I'm about to make this cool quote. But it always feels very in character.
TikTok we're making, guys.
Hey guys, ready? Hey, are you
ready to
get ready to clip this? Yeah, get ready to clip this. But truly, Aaron, specifically Aaron and Qeela and Olga's dynamic, but Qeela is the one that I spent the most time just thinking about outside of session. And that's because I relate to Agoka on sort of a really gross spiritual level. But I really loved her story and her journey, and even completely removed from the campaign as a whole, Qeela had such this rich, full arc, and I think all of you did. But I'm a sucker for a story of grief and guilt and all these things. But I think Aaron's strength as a character is pushing everyone else out of their comfort zone just enough. And you're good at knowing the line so that you know not to go too far with PvP. But you do it just enough that everyone's a little bit uncomfortable and just a little bit out of their comfort zone. And you've said many times, I get worse to make you guys better. And I think that's your strength, and I think that your strength is also giving us these killer one-liners, but without it feeling like, get ready, I'm about to say a cool line. Ready? Everybody watching? And because they feel very in character always.
Yeah.
Aaron, is that how you wanted us to see Qeela?
Qeela is so far from how I expected her to be. I fully started pulling, when I was making Qeela, TV tropes out of thin air. Why not? Great. Oh, there's two kids? I'm going to be like Uncle James and Jesse from Full House. And then I'm like, oh, why not? Let's go soap opera. She killed someone. And I fully intended this to not be such a, like, emotional character, but I put a lot of acid into this character, and you guys all played in different levels. Oh no.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
His
You all
laptop
played
died.
different levels of bases that helped neutralize, and I truly don't think Qeela would have been as she was without all of you, because I fully intended this to just be, I'm going to push and get run out. I'm going to end up leaving this season because Keela's going to be the worst. I fully thought season 1 I'd be gone.
We started the discussion of season 2, and I asked Aaron, do you want to start season 2 and be gone? And say Qeela hasn't been with you guys for 5 months. And Aaron said, no, I'm going to stay because Tuga's pregnant. I wouldn't leave if Tuga was pregnant.
I love it.
I think fully all of you guys helped make a family that she could not leave, that she, whether healthy or no, felt required to help, and I think that made a great character. And I'd like to thank you, Joe, for just bouncing shit off of me. Agoka was never meant to be tragic like it was. This was fully intended as, oh yeah, I killed someone, I'm haunted by it, I might kill again.
And yet
it was fully to justify if Qeela went off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you turned it into heartbreak.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, beautiful. And I believe Tuga's last, right?
Yeah.
Is that the last person that said? Great.
I want to say another thing about Qeela really quick.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dear.
Beautiful.
Also, because I feel like Nolan should be here for Tuga's section too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did send a thing, luckily.
Okay.
He did?
Yes, he did. I can always read it out if he can't get back on.
I want to thank you, Aaron, just for challenging me as a player personally, especially I feel like especially season 1, Olga and Qeela were at odds for so long, and we had so many moments where we were fighting and not resolving and fighting and not resolving, and that was so delicious to be able to play off of for so long, and I don't think I could do that with many other players. So thank you for giving me that. That was such a treat, and I will treasure that forever. Yeah, I think everything that Joe said of you being able to push boundaries without it crossing a line is artful, and I'm very thankful for that, because I don't have many opportunities to really stretch my legs like that.
Yeah. 100%.
Thank you all for being such great
You dogs that can run with
backboards.
me. Roo!
Thank you all for being the best backboards to the worst person.
No,
Just
she's
constant layups every time.
she's just a
No,
little
don't
I
misunderstood.
made her to be the worst person, though.
We
I made her
love
to be the
Yet
worst
she's
in the
not.
family, and you made her great. You all
She's
brought her back from being
We
awful.
love
Nolan
her.
did not send
we
the
weren't
post.
gonna let her go.
No,
Um,
absolutely
Yes, he
not.
did. He sent it in the
Right.
I
sidecar.
love Qeela.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
did.
In this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, MJ, go ahead. I cut you off.
but yeah.
I think I was just agreeing. I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
It's been 2 seconds and I
Oh,
forgot.
about Tuga.
Oh, I was going to talk about Tuga. That's right.
Yeah.
I love Tuga so much. I love how sweet and caring she is. I love how well Josie plays like the love in a character. And I loved her arc this season of getting to be more than just a mom.
Mhm.
And getting to be herself and find out who she was. I think that was really, really sweet. And I love her so much.
Josie, you as a person have so much love to give, and it's a privilege being able to know you. So it's, it's also a privilege being able to play with a character who is so much like you in that they have so much love to give. And in this family full of chaotic, emotionally constipated people, especially in season 1, Tuga was such a necessary addition to this group. You were the glue that held us together, and if Oga is the backbone, Tuga has always been the heart. And I'm just it's you are such a treat as a player. I mean, like I've played with you in a couple other things at this point now, but yeah, I mean, Tuga is just she's a delight, and again, so very necessary in this family, and you just played her beautifully.
Yeah, 100%.
One thing I want to say is just how you made every moment count. There was nothing that wasn't said with everything you had, every single time. In season 1, we interfaced the least, but that bit at the end where you checked in on Qeela is what stopped her from being gone season 2. And the fact that you have such a strong impact and are consistently speaking from the heart is just amazing.
Mm. Hale, what do you think?
I love that you were like the level-headed one out of all of us, because you had like Zoc, who was overprotective. You had Qeela, who was less protective but still overprotective in their own way. And then you had Oga, who was like, I want you to live and have fun now, so let's do this. And you were always the one who like brought everybody together and been like, all right.
You cut off on that last part. Oh,
no.
sorry.
No.
I just really like that you're able to bring everybody together and like keep us going in a way that's like I feel like only you as a mom could. Ooh,
Oh, there he is.
Nolan's back.
There he is.
Oh, perfect timing.
He's back for his wife.
And I love that you just
Nolan.
like watching you become your own person,
Yeah,
aside from all of these other roles that your character played, was really cool.
right.
Nolan, talk about
Nolan,
your wife.
It's perfect. It's your turn.
My wife. What a wonderful person she is. I love you, Josie, and Tuga. I love the story that is not often told of a parent being a person, of somebody who has a responsibility to like do other things, all responsibility to themselves, and to be true about their own like history and what makes them them.
Well, yeah.
I kiss
Josie,
my
I
wife.
kiss my wife.
Josie, I've known you, and I have been role playing with you for a very, very long time. It started when we were in kindergarten and we played pretend on the playground. In 5th grade, when we pretended to be cowboys for weeks straight. and into college when I convinced you to play Dungeons and Dragons with me in my backyard, and you played a princess and I played a prince, and we were beautifully in love. I have gotten to see you do a lot of different characters, and we have played a lot of different relationships together. I've been your cousin, I've been your lover, I've been your best friend, I've been your mother, I've been your child, all of the above, right? And I think Tuga is the closest character to your real life personality that you've ever played. And I love, you know, when I was thinking, okay, I want like a peacekeeper mom character, who else would I call, right? To play that so beautifully. But your biggest strengths in D&D and roleplay is that you have an unlimited range. I have never pitched you a character idea that you haven't been able to play. Every campaign Josie and I have ever done together has almost always started with me going, hey, I need this spot filled. Can you do it? And Josie says, who are you speaking to right now? And she just fills in whatever niche I need. If you guys have played or seen any episodes of Terrador, Cyrus is the exact opposite of Tuga, and she plays both beautifully and with unlimited ease. I think that is one of Josie's biggest strengths, her flexibility and adaptability and her desire to tell a good story, and her flexibility and ability, just unlimited range, can play anything that anybody needs her to be. You are the best at staying in character. There are some times, especially in Terrador, when I'm trying to get other plot things going for more reluctant role players, where I go, hey, Josie, what if this happened with Cyrus? And Josie will go, no, Cyrus wouldn't do that. Or, you know, like, you are so always in the mind of your character and always reacting how they would. And I think Josie, like all of you, and this is a compliment for all of you, there's a lot of things that go into doing role play, and especially for performing it for a camera and recording it. And there's a lot of different bar graphs, and most of them, if one is low, you can coach it up. Like, okay, we'd love for Josie to give a little more facial reaction so that we can clip farm, because that's the world we live in. Let's coach Josie on that a bit. Or, oh, I'd love Nolan to trust himself a little more and to just dive straight in, right? But the thing that you really can't coach is just caring.
Yeah.
And all of you have that, and I can't teach you how to do that. I can pretty much like help you all grow as role players in any other way, and you guys can help me grow as a role player in any other way. But if we didn't care, that is not something I can fix. And Josie cares about these stories so much. When she missed post-production and was hearing about it, she was like, I'm never saying no again. I'm so jealous. I'm having so much FOMO not being a part of it. I'm never saying no again.
We missed you, Josie. We really did.
We did.
And
We
that's
missed you
such a
so
delight.
much.
Big old
No, it was a fun
heart emoji
story, and
for
I
all of
love
you.
seeing you guys make it.
Yeah.
That's a big old heart emoji to all of you. You can't make up for a lack of care, and you all have that.
I love you, Joe.
Ugh.
I'm gonna rag on you now, because
Yeah, now we gotta get Joe
Yeah.
now, guys.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Get her
are you
ass.
serious?
Yes,
Get her
yes, Joe.
Yes.
Joe,
Wait, no.
Joe,
What?
from the moment we started this campaign, you have been able to just pull these little gold nuggets out of us, these little gems, these emotional moments. You tee us up better than any fucking DM I've ever had. Like, genuinely, you, especially with like the really, really heartfelt fucking hitting this world for us. Thank you for bringing us all together. Thank you for being responsible for all this, and for being the reason that my eyes are going to be super puffy tomorrow. So
Yeah.
much appreciate. We love you.
I said yeah. I said this earlier with talking about like Hoku and her first scene, and how you can make like anything feel real and grounded and justified in just your narration. You are so good at understanding what we want for our characters, It's so easy to trust you as a DM with these characters that we love and care about so much because you understand them immediately and love and care about them just as much as we do. And you're so good at like helping us find these characters and find the heart of who we're playing. I think that helps all of us to create our dynamics better because you understand them perfectly and can make the world around what we want for ourselves while still being true to the story that you want to tell.
Yeah, playing a little bit off of that, I just like how you always come to each and every one of us, and all of us feel like we get that little piece that we want with our characters. Like, if we want something, we feel like we want to do a scene or something, you always fit it in. And it just always turns out so beautifully how you piece every little bit together. How each of us has a little story that we want to tell within your beautifully crafted story, by the way. It just flows so effortlessly, so perfectly. It's always timed. It's always just you feel the feels when you need to feel them. Like all the NPCs, you love or hate them. And everything is just crafted with such care and thought, and you're just an amazing writer and storyteller and friend, and it's just it's always a joy.
Yes.
I always want to play
Everything
D&D
goes
with you
that way.
forever.
Yeah. You handle
Joe,
our
I think
characters like
that-
little baby birds, and I'm so thankful.
Nolan, if you're gonna make a joke, I'll cry. Be
I'm
sincere
not
and
gonna
true
make
and
a joke.
honest. Okay.
No, that was his sincere voice, I could tell.
Okay, sorry. You
It's
started
sincere,
it
but it
with-
starts with a joke.
Okay, then I'm ready. I could
Joe,
tell
I
that was your
think
jokey voice.
I think that in any other time ever, you'd be tried as a witch, and I think there's no greater compliment because you're a genius woman, and it's insane. It's insanity. It's an effortless genius that I know is not effortless because you also put so much more work into things than anybody I've ever known. So it's a privilege to do any kind of creative work with you.
I think I'm never not impressed by the affectionately shit you manage to pull. I don't understand how your brain works in that you can successfully Manchurian Candidate and then have us crying the next episode. The breadth and width of your ability to bridge those two tones is...
You ever seen somebody lasso a running away calf? Sorry, continue.
It's bonkers. It's truly, I think, your greatest asset is to be able to make those bold choices and make them count.
I am in awe of your world building and storytelling abilities, truly, and I honestly think I have to thank you because I think a lot of Nala's growing and transformation this season came after talks you and I have had where we were just texting about her. So I think you've really helped with a lot of her development. And I love you.
The midnight texts, by the way, the midnight texts.
Oh, everybody gets those. Everybody here gets those.
It's truly when you are creatively taking the biggest swings and hitting the most home runs.
I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and Joe is like, what if we did this with this character? And I'm like, I'm going to work.
I've got to
cry for an hour now.
Yeah.
Everything that you say that is so nice about me is because I am willing to put in that work and that effort for you because I love what we do together. And that's where we end our bathroom break. So thanks for watching us gush over each other for 45 minutes probably. I love you all at home. This is why I put so much effort in editing and doing social media and planning and scheduling and all the other junk that I do for no money. I'd like to do it for some money. So subscribe.
Anything.
Like, comment, sort of interact with it at all. Did you not hear what we just did? We just cried for you.
Yeah, we cried so
Get
much.
outta
I'm
here.
gonna
Get
go
out.
lay in bed and cry.
I have meetings
Bye.
tomorrow.
Movie's
My
over.
face
Taking
is
another
gonna
big
be a
swing.
mess.
Go home.
I have to work tomorrow.